I realized that the South was an often overlooked area of research around the experiences of Black people. My research specifically focuses on the sociology and anthropology of education, with a particular emphasis in educational reforms and policies and how these affect issues of access and outcomes in schooling, particularly around issues of race, social class, and gender. And I am right now paying greater attention to the role or the significance of place, that is one's geographical location, in determining outcomes and opportunities. But I would argue that the direction... You can't try to understand the experiences of Black children around issues of achievement just by interviewing Black adolescents and getting their perspectives. One has to understand what are the structures of schools that create situations that become cultural manifestations, such as this notion of whether some Black children were ridiculing other Black children for achieving. What created that? When you look at the structure of schools, you often find that Black children, even in racially diverse schools, are at the bottom. White and now Asian children are at the top. I think what we have to do in order to solve the achievement gap is to focus on the structural forces. You have to have great teachers, you have to have quality courses, and Black children have to have access to those courses in those schools. So that changes the structure. That begins to address the structural issues. You can ask almost anybody. They would tell you many Black girls are doing extremely well. And the achievement gap sometimes or quite often falls along gender lines. And so we have to have renewed conversations about the education of Black males. And in that conversation, one inherently has to raise questions about the school-to-prison pipeline. One inherently has to raise the question about how do we understand, or how do Black communities define issues of Black masculinity. One inherently has to think about what are forces in schools that are in many ways pushing Black males out. And so this is not something only the Black community can deal with. This is something that all of us have to address. And before I began the work that I'm doing, I made sure that I was a resident in the area. In fact, where I reside now is a key community in the study that I'm leading. And you have to deal with the politics of the community, the same issues that the community is experiencing, you feel them. And so you have to think about being a researcher while you're also a member. And that's a unique approach.
That's what I'm saying, dog.
I would see a lot of young people in the DeKalb County area, and they were playing football, and I realized it was a skill that I had, and they just called me Pop. You know. In fact, it's like church on Sunday mornings there. We show up around 11:30, and we just play football for about 3 hours, generally beginning with a conversation about life and ending with conversations about life. And so there are a lot of little things that I do that are just who I am in terms of an educator. This is a gift I was given, and that is to participate in the education of young people.